Afghanistan today is one of the only countries in the world with zero female representatives in government. So, Alicia, can you set any negative impact on this issue regarding female participation in politics in Afghanistan?
I mean, I think the thing that you do yourself is you report on the economic impact of this. That is really important because I just see it so violent. It's slavery. But if you report like they're losing economic value, that might change something. I don't know really. But, women's participation in the economy is key, for every reason. So that economic argument is really good one to make.
Yes. Also, when we look at history, um, and when we look at truth and history, there are evidence both prove when women participation in nation thrive. For example, in the workplaces, when women bring collaboration, empathy, and innovation. Also, they bring qualities and strengthen organizations. So, also in politics, participation in politics, we have seen that. For example, from Rwanda to Finland, from Liberia to New Zealand, women leaders have shown that leadership built on compassion and inclusivity achieves what oppression never can. And also, when you look at the current situation of Afghanistan now, Afghanistan is one of the saddest country in the world. Most of the countries on that list that are the saddest country in the world, you see that most of them oppress women. And also, when you look at the opposite way for the countries that are the happiest, for example, I think the current country that is on the top list is Iceland, and Iceland is currently led by a woman. You see how a woman leadership can bring a positive impact on nations' integrity and economy. From your perspective,
Yes,
Alicia,
yes.
how can this restriction on women's participation in politics affect rest of the world, especially with the young generation?
I mean, the economic argument about women's participation in the economy, that is key. I overlooked that myself. I went to business school and I think, for no other reason, your whole economy, your whole country will do better, you know? Like women in all parts of the world, they receive microcredit loans, microcredit just for women. So it will bring money into the country, and the economy, of course, will do much better in time. So the economic argument is the only thing we have, really. No one understands, like, freedom, politics, things that are abstract. People don't really respond to that. And I don't like to call it slavery, but it's slavery. So make an economic argument, make things better economically by including women. Then they have some hope. Then they have a future. That's all, really.
Okay, from my perspective, regarding female participation in politics, I think women don't just work; they transform, and also they don't just govern; they heal. They just don't dream; they also build futures, right?
Yes, yes.
I think we have another speaker. As I think his name is Moses. Moses. So let me start with there are three messages that I will share with people around the world. One, my first message is to Afghan girls and women. And I promise them that I'll keep fighting for you, showing my support, is born for a reason, and I was born for this fight. I'm ready to sacrifice my energy and my time for you until we defeat these barbarians. That's I think the Taliban, not with force, but with our words like this. I think it came into my attention recently. There are some people who criticize Afghan journalists, activists, and also activists around the world, especially Malala Yousafzai. She's one of the leading activists for Afghan young girls and women. So stop attacking Afghan activists, especially Malala Yousafzai, for their silence on Palestinians. Before you open your mouth to attack, to attack those activists and Malala Yousafzai, ask yourself, what have you done for the humanity? You have done nothing. But Malala has risked her life, her peace, and her freedom to fight for girls' education. See, she saved millions of dreams while you sit behind the screen just for throwing support or criticizing someone. I think that's not a good idea for you. Also, you call for her silence. She's the girl who was shot in the head and listen and still choose to speak for others.
Yes, it's
She,
horrible.
she has walked into places where your courage will collapse. Her work has changed laws, opened schools, and inspired generation. And you, what have you done? I think you've done nothing other than complain. So let's be clear, the Palestinians are not more important than the Afghan girls and women who are banned from classroom or strip of their future. Malala has never ignored suffering. She has chosen her battlefield. That's education. And education is the root of every human right. So you can hate, you can mock or twist her words, but Malala's legacy will still shine brighter than your noise. Also, while you spread anger, she shine brighter than your noise. While you spread anger, she spread hope. While you blame, she built thousands, I think not even thousands, she built millions of dreams around the world, especially in Pakistan, likewise here in Nigeria and other countries. So, Matthias,
Yes,
Alicia, can you say something about this issue, about those who are criticizing Malala on her silence on Palestinians?
Oh, I would never criticize her. She and her father have done so much. I would never criticize her. You know, saying one thing is important does not mean that something else is less important. It just means that's what your focus is right now. So she's wonderful. She is wonderful.
yeah,
That's all.
Malala is wonderful. I agree.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Malala is wonderful.
Yes,
I don't think there is a single person currently that will do what she's currently doing.
Exactly.
So, my third message, I would like to address people everywhere on women and girls' rights. These measures represent one of the most systematic rollbacks of women's rights in the world today. So the restrictions affect education, work, freedom of movement, dress, and participation in public life. Likewise, the access to healthcare and justice. First, let us look at education. Uh, what will you say about the current situation regarding education in Afghanistan, Alicia?
It's very, very hard. The only thing I can do is help journalists to report on it. And to give an example, like Rina Karimi, who is at Harvard University, all you can do is hope they're cut off. To me, it is slavery. It is human slavery. So
Oh,
I call it that, which is very difficult. I don't call it apartheid, I call it slavery. And so
yes.
no one wants to fight a war about that. You know, it's very violent. So that's all I can do, help journalists to talk about it.
What about the individuals like we using the social media to raise awareness? on this issue
Um, Again, you can help. I try to broadcast the words of Mina Karimi.
using hashtag like free Afghan women and girls?
Yes,
Can
that
you give
helps.
any advice?
I have nothing. I mean, again, I help Mina Karimi at Harvard, and I help one journalist. That's all I can do.
Okay. Matthias, from your perspective, what will you say?
Um, it was hard to me to follow because of my English. Can you say the question, other please?
Can you any advice for individuals and communities using social media to raise their awareness regarding this issue?
Um, uh, I just hit social media. Um, yeah, I read that the Taliban are using social media to spread their message and to make propaganda, especially on X, former Twitter. I read it. What was the question? Excuse me, please.
Okay. Now, a generation of girls is growing up without the rights to learn, without the rights to dream of becoming doctors, teachers, engineers, or leaders. Denying this education is not just denying knowledge, it's denying of a future. Ladies and gentlemen, when the Taliban banned girls from classroom beyond the sixth grade, many believed that Afghan women's education have been silenced forever. But Afghan girls are not giving up. Instead, they have turned their homes, their internet into secret classrooms. However, even this fragile lifeline is now under attack as the Taliban restrict and shut down internet services. So tonight, I want to share with you how the Afghan women continue learning secretly in these difficulties and how the cutting off of the internet access threatens to erase even this last rays of hope. So, despite the bans, Afghan girls and women join online classes through Zooms, WhatsApp, Telegram, and Google Meet. Also, volunteer teachers from abroad run classes in English, science, mathematics, and even coding. So many girls join secretly using shared mobile phones, low data lessons, or recorded lectures. Some even gathered in small hidden groups, sharing a single device to learn together in silence. For them, online session is more than a class. It is an act of resistance. But still, Afghan women face challenges to have access to these online classes. The Taliban recently deliberately cut off the internet connection across the region. Alicia, what will you say about the recent internet cut off across Afghanistan?
It is of course terrible. And again, I am different. A lot of people talk about apartheid. I talk about slavery. It's slavery.
Yes.
So I don't really know how to change the words because slavery means you have to get rid of it by violent action. But the internet, everything, it's a prison, it's apartheid, but it's also slavery. So what do you do? What do you do? So I support a journalist, and I've tried to post whenever I can how Mina Karimi, a young woman from Kabul, is doing at Harvard University. They are valued elsewhere. In other parts of the world, women and girls from Afghanistan are valued very much. And I just try to take her example.
Yo,
Yes.
yeah,
Matthias,
yeah,
any remark regarding the internet shutdown in Afghanistan?
yes.
They cut off the internet across Afghanistan.
Hello, you are away. Hello?
They said the internet cut the reason why they shut up the internet connection in Afghanistan
Yeah,
reality.
sorry, fuck. Here's a very, here was an internet problem. Uh, suddenly, uh, sorry, funnily, in that moment when you talked about internet problems, there was an internet problem. So can you please repeat what you said?
Okay, recently, is it last 3 weeks or 2 weeks? The Taliban cut off the internet connection in
Yes,
Afghanistan.
yes, yeah, I read about it. Yes.
So the Taliban, one of their leaders, is it their foreign minister or spokesperson, said that the reason why they cut off the internet is to prevent immorality across Afghanistan.
Uh-huh. So it's
Can you?
immorality to write with your friends on WhatsApp.
That's what they think. And they think that this education, this female education, is immorality.
Yeah. Yes, this is
Can
crazy.
you
It's
say
not.
any negative? Can you
It's
say any
insane.
negative?
It's insane. It's not. It's stupid. Like what you want to hear from me? Yes. What you want to hear from me? It's crazy. It's insane.
Yes, and it causes a lot of negative impact, which online schools vanished. Girls who rely on digital communities for learning and emotional support are isolated once again. And also, the internet, once a lifeline, has become a tool of control by the Taliban. So these shutdowns are not just technical barriers, they are deliberate acts of erasure, cutting Afghan women off from knowledge, from opportunity, from outside the world. Every hour without this internet is another stolen opportunity,
I have a
another
question.
another forced silence.
Um, Hassan,
Yes, Matthias.
I have a question. I read in the internet that it is only temporary on internet shutdown, or is it forever?
No, I think it's temporary because it's not. It's the last 2 weeks they restored the internet connection. It only lasted for 2 days.
But why? Why?
Why? There are some, as I told you before. One their spokesperson, media spokesperson, said that it causes immorality, and also I saw this post from a Taliban account. He
Yeah, but
said that the reason why they cut off the internet connection is not the Taliban. They said the reason behind the internet shutdown was due to optic fiber issue. And also from another source, named Wakil Mubaris. I don't know
you
whether you saw this account,
you mean
Wakil Mubaris, on Twitter.
you mean using internet is immorally like showing your face in on the street in public or in public or something like that.
Yes, including education. That's what the Taliban
After
said.
Sharia law from the Taliban.
No, I don't think it is Sharia law. It's what they are imposing is not Sharia law. It's completely different from Sharia law. This is not the teaching of Sharia law. Because the Sharia law gave women right to education, right to right to freedom of movement, right to do anything. So this is not a Sharia law.
Also, I have two questions to you, if I am allowed. Can I ask you two
Or
questions?
yes, you can ask.
Um, is do you question one? Do you like Sharia? And
Hello, Matt.
question one: are the Taliban violating Sharia?
Okay. What is the question?
The question is, the Taliban are violating Islam. Um,
Yes, exactly.
yes, but they are claiming they are acting in the name of Islam. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's what they are claiming. But this is completely different from Islamic teachings, because in Islam, as I told you, even during the Prophet Muhammad's time, he gave women's right. Because before the coming of Islam in Arabian Peninsula, there are a lot of women's right violation until the coming of Islam in that century, when Islam allowed women to learn, women to go to school, women to a lot of rights Islam granted women. This is completely different from
Hassan,
Islamic teaching, because yes, because let me finish. Because when you look at many Islamic countries like Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Pakistan, and others, you'll see that they gave women rights to right to go to school, right to work,
Hassan,
even right to participate in politics.
Hassan.
Yes, Matthias. Yes.
We have some Afghan woman here who may want to speak,
Okay.
or woman in generally who want to speak.
Yes, she can. Maybe she can press the request button below.
I cannot see the display, but here
You
is
said a
here is
woman
here.
from Afghanistan wants to talk. Matthias,
Yes, it's my
Matthias,
question. Yeah,
you
yeah.
said someone wants to talk.
I don't want to talk. I have talked too much. I want to ask if is here some woman who want to talk.
Okay, Alicia,
Okay, can you hear me?
Alicia.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay,
can hear
let
you.
me continue.
So, the only thing I
Okay,
can do is I try to amplify the voices of one woman who got out. She's at Harvard University, named Mina Karimi, and
yes.
journalist. But to me, what is happening there is slavery. It's slavery. So, how do you combat that? Because I'm someone who's a pacifist, I'm not violent, but it's slavery. What's happening to them is slavery. All you can do is, give a good example. Mina Karimi, other women from Afghanistan that got out somehow. If they're somewhere else, they are valued. They are really good students. Mina is great. She's really smart. So give them hope. But can you do anything? I don't know. I really don't know. I
Okay,
support your
what
points
grade is
and
now
I
Mina?
support Mina.
Mina Karimi. What
Yes.
grade is she now? Level, I mean.
She's at the second year of a 4 year degree at Harvard University.
Okay. Okay.
But
Also,
she's a good student. She's a very good student.
yes, I can see some of her posting.
Yeah.
Education is only the beginning. Once a woman learns, they must be allowed to lead. But in Afghanistan today, women are banned from most forms of work. They can no longer serve in government offices, NGOs, or any international organization. So this ban is more than discrimination. It is an economic suicide. Women once made up a vital part of Afghanistan workforce, which includes doctors, teachers, journalists, entrepreneurs. But this removal has plunged families into poverty and crippled essential services like health and education. So the Taliban did not stop at school or workplaces. They went after women's political voices too. They dissolved the Ministry of Women's Affairs and replaced it with Ministry for the Promotion of Virtue and Prevention of Vice, an institution that enforces obedience instead of empowerment. So female leaders who once sat in parliament, negotiated peace deals, or led social campaigns have been exiled or silenced. You can see an example with one of our colleagues, Sumaya Frot, and she's now in exile in Netherlands. A lot of Mariam Soleiman Kil and others. Likewise, Fauzia Kufi too. She's former member
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you, Matthias. I can hear you. Matthias. Yes, continue. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay, you can continue with your point. Yes. Yes. That's last week, right? Okay, thank you, Matthias. I have a question for you. Matthias, I have a question for you. Uh, Recently, is it last 3 months or 2 months, the German government decided to reopen the Afghan embassy in Germany. What can you say about it? Yes. For example, after the Taliban, sorry, after the German government reopened the Afghan embassy in Germany, there was a protest, right? Yes. What was the German response regarding the protest? Yes, we don't trust them too. We don't trust them too. What about the, for example, last week? last week incident that happened in India when the Taliban foreign minister visited India and he asked the German government and the official to send away all the female journalists from the conference hall. What will you say about it? Okay, the first one. The first one. Okay. Yeah. Matthias, I'll get back to you later. Let's hear from Alicia perspective. Alicia,
Yes. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. From
Good.
your from your perspective, what role can the international community and the individual like us play in this struggle?
It's very hard. I try to emphasize the postings by Mina Karimi, who's at Harvard, meaning people that
Yes,
got out. How are they doing? You know, she's at Harvard University. She posts things online on Facebook, and I put them on X. I think,
yes,
tell
I
people
saw
how
your
they're
recent
doing.
posting about her.
So, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Alicia.
Yes. So I try to stay in touch with Mina Karimi, and I also helped a journalist, just a freelance journalist from Afghanistan, who's a man. I helped him get to Brazil. I helped him go from Pakistan to Brazil. And so now he posts without threats from the Taliban. They don't know where he is. And so those are two people, just two people, but I try to help people who have fled Afghanistan. They're in Pakistan. You can use Western Union to send money for groceries, for rent, and so it's very difficult. But you do little things, just little things with your credit card. I'm not in the
Yes.
military. I'm
You
not in
mentioned.
politics. Yeah.
Sorry, you mentioned that there are sons in Afghanistan that are currently now in exile, right?
Yes. Yes.
But there are some news that shows that they are still facing deportation from the Pakistani government.
It's very difficult. And so one of them was in a safe house. He was in a safe house in Pakistan. I can't say where it was. And he got a Brazilian visa. Brazil gives
Okay.
humanitarian visas. So people from Afghanistan have made their way to Brazil, and the Brazilian government has been very good. They have a limited number of visas, but they get people out one by one, and you can help people. It costs something to apply. They have to buy a plane ticket to go to Rio de Janeiro, but you can do small things, just one person, and that's
Yes,
all
one
you do.
person. Okay. Um, Let me start with the Taliban restriction. Since the terrorists are not silenced, I'm honored to host this conversation alongside amazing co-hosts Alicia Higam and Matthias Hutenbach. Let's begin with brief introduction from our co-host. Alicia, can you start? Alicia. Okay, Matthias, can you start?
Yeah, can I speak, please? Do you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Alicia.
Good, finally, good. I am just an
Yes.
ordinary person in the U.S. In the United States. Um, One member of my family is notable. She is Drew Gilpin Faust, who is the president of Harvard, the first woman to preside over Harvard, and so I'm very, very proud to do anything to support women. Um, she led Harvard, and also I'm a donor at Interlochen Academy, a private
Mm-hmm.
arts high school in the US. And so last year I met Mina Karimi. She was originally a schoolgirl in Keble, and she met me last year in Michigan, of all places. She left in 2021 before Kabul fell. And so she's doing really well. She's at Harvard. And so I followed all of this because I want the best for everyone, not just for women, for everyone. So that's my last statement.